To start this story off, I want to say that because of this incident, I haven't been able to enjoy movies, period. Me and a few other survivors of the incident are making attempts at group therapy. For a little background information, I loved movies. Anytime I'm available for one, I would go to a movie theater or watch one on one of the many streaming services I have. When me and my friends play a movie guessing game, I always win, and that's why we don't play those anymore. I also have a movie review channel on YouTube, which right now has about 60,000 subscribers. Sadly, I had to quit it after the incident, if you were wondering about that. Anyways, one summer day, I went to one of the major blockbuster movies that was showing at my favorite theater. I went in, paid for my ticket, grabbed some popcorn and drinks, and went to the ticket holder. "Another day at the movies, Sam?" the ticket holder asked me. "You bet, Charlie," I said to the ticket holder, who me and him got accustomed too well over the years. "I hear it's supposed to be a good one," Charlie says to me. "I hope so. If it is, I'll post a vid about it on my channel," I tell him. Charlie nods and hands me back my ticket. "See you on the other side," he says, and I nod to him as I make my way to the room that's showing the movie. I quickly scan the aisles as I find a good seat to sit. A couple minutes before the commercials end, and the whole room was packed. Good thing I came early, I thought to myself. On the right side to me was a young woman with what looks like her boyfriend right beside her. Also on the left was a middle-aged fellow who looked like he had also had some free time on his hands. I smiled a big smile as the movie was about to start and everyone started cheering. The first few minutes of the movie was going great. Everyone, including me, was enjoying themselves, unless there was that few that tried to hide the fact that they should have picked a different film. Then, this is when it all started. The scene suddenly started to flicker black and white like it was glitching the screen. And then the whole movie screen turned black. When this happened, everyone got upset and started getting angry and saying stuff like, "We should get a refund." As people started getting up, the screen turned back on again and people clapped as they went back to their seats, thinking the person in the back fixed whatever was wrong. I started going back to eat my popcorn as the couple on my right looked like they were about to make out. But the weird thing was, the movie wasn't showing the movie we were watching. Now we opened up to a forest as the camera is smoothly traveling until it stopped at an old shack. It looked like the shack was livable for a person or a family. Then we went inside of the cabin as the front door opened and as the cameraman went inside and shut the door. The inside looked like your average log cabin out in the woods, except it was old and rusty. It had a few animal heads posted on the walls. By now, a lot of people were asking questions. Even a couple of people were going to head out the door. Even a couple people were heading for the door. As the scene stayed on the inside of the shack, the people that were going to leave made some terrified noises. As the rest of us in the theater turned our heads to look in their direction, we could see that they couldn't open the door. It wouldn't budge. "Let us out!" some of them screamed. Seeing this unfold, my heart was beating out of my chest. Then a couple of aisles in front of me, a man screamed. As we all looked at his direction and crowded around him, we saw in terror what he was screaming at. The woman sitting beside him had none of her facial features. She was just looking like a plain old mannequin. And then we heard another scream as someone pointed to the movie screen. The woman was inside the movie. She was screaming for help as she looked terrified. As this was happening, an old man and another woman appeared on the screen as we all looked and saw that they were also looking like mannequins in the theater, but whole on the screen. It went on like this until there were only 10 of us left. The people in the movie were trying to calm themselves down and looking around the shack for clues. That was when one of the first people looked in the direction of the so-called cameraman and screamed a blood-curdling scream that the rest of us will remember for the rest of our lives. As soon as the woman screamed, the movie screen flashed off again, leaving us in the darkness. And then, as the screen once again flicked right back on it was a scene out of a horror movie. We all puked at the sight as we were all trying to get out of the room, but the doors were locked. The people that were just enjoying a movie with us a while ago were now strung apart throughout the whole shack. It was just pure terror looking in that screen as the title's supposed credits went up. At that moment, the doors unlocked and we all burst through the doors. The employees called the police and we were asked about what had happened. As the cops scoured the place, we later found out that the projectionist, who we thought fixed the film after the glitching, was found dead in the room. They took the movie that had the dead patrons and gave it to the government to see if they can figure out what happened. So now you know our story, why the rest of us won't go into the movie theater again, because we know it will happen to us next. Just take caution next time you go into one. And one final thing if you do. Please, enjoy the movie for me.